Let me just tell you, corruption is a societal problem. And let me also say that bad leaders come from bad citizens. We Kenyans, we've become permissive to corruption. For example, right now we have an impeachment motion against a corrupt person. Tunasema ni mwizi lakini ni wetu. So then, what power does a president have to end corruption if the citizens wenyewe, mtu anapatikana na wizi wanasema ni mwizi lakini ni wetu? So the first thing I need to do, number one, the first fight against corruption is don't be corrupt. Don't accept a bribe, don't give, don't request, don't take gifts. Just do your job. And don't be greedy to build an empire or to illegitimately acquire wealth. Just be satisfied with what God has already given you. Go with that. And at the end of the day, just know that material wealth is not real wealth. Real wealth is reputation. When you have a good reputation, you become a magnet for money. When you have a good reputation, pesa inajiletanga yenyewe. So hakuna haja kustruggle kuiba pesa mingi trying to be a billionaire, yet you can have a good name and it can attract the billions. That is the first thing. When it begins with an individual from their heart that I don't want to be corrupt. Then number two, inspire other people to hate corruption. Because it's a societal problem, you need to begin with the education system. Make it compulsory in the history class for students to read the Constitution. The Constitution should be one of the set books in high school. Create integrity clubs inside primary schools and secondary schools, so that children are taught at a young age, even before they graduate out of campus or out of college. Let them know about corruption and integrity. Raise a new generation that hates this thing. The third thing you need to do is be very firm about corrupt people, previous and current. Unajua shida ya watu, they come to power and say, Uhuru alifanya kazi yake, alifanya kazi mzuri, wacha Uhuru aende nyumbani apumzike. Kwa nini? Anaenda kupumzika na pesa yetu kwa nini? Why is this guy going home with our laptops money? Why is this guy going home with our SGR money? Why is this guy going home having started his own bank and stolen our money and funded his bank NCBA? Why should this guy go home without explaining how he built a whole city? These are things that a former leader must explain. Sasa kama hao cabinet secretary, these people have left government, yes, they've been fired from the cabinet, sawa, lakini pesa yetu iko wapi? They need to return it. There is someone who's been occupying a position called cabinet secretary without portfolio, minister without ministry. That person should refund the whole salary he has been receiving and per diems for the whole time that he has been a cabinet secretary without a ministry, because that's ridiculous. So corruption, the fight against corruption begins with us. It begins with you as a person. If you are not corrupt, if you don't accept bribes as a president, every other person who was thinking of being corrupt inaisha. Then arrest the people that matter. Tuache kushika big fish. Let's arrest the big fish. Hao watu wenye wameiba, hao wakubwa, let's arrest them. Hata tusiogope ati kutakuwa na maandamano ati watu wataandamana sijui wa kabila gani, watasema mtu wa kabila yao anatagetiwa. No, let's put them inside and forget about your mambo ya maandamano and explain to Kenyans what we are trying to do, so that people take this thing ya corruption seriously. You know, the reason people don't take it seriously is because big people are corrupt. They steal billions and billions. They are never arrested. Askari mwenye anachukua 50 bob pale kwa matatu anashikwa. So I believe corruption will begin with a change of societal values, inspiration of people to hate corruption first. Ukiona, ukisikia, sema. Let the public assist in fighting corruption. Mtu akikuitisha bribe, mob justice, so that corruption iishe from the ground na sisi tuimalize from the top. And anyway, there's another thing you've asked me, what laws will we put in place? Brother, let me tell you this. There's no shortage of laws in Kenya that are anti-corruption laws. There are enough laws against corruption. The problem is none of them is implemented.
Good. Endoroche, I'll give you 1 minute. Barry 1 minute. Muthe 1 minute. Triple M 1 minute. Salim 1 minute.